I put my phone down for like an hour. An hour! And this is what I saw. Alexander Ovechkin resigns. That's normal. Marc-Andre Fleury is traded for almost nothing. Not normal. And this is already the wildest NHL offseason I think of my lifetime, and free agency isn't until tomorrow. So let's talk about it. I'll start with Ovechkin because that one's easy, and then we'll get into Marc-Andre Fleury, which is a little bit more complex. Alexander Ovechkin signs a 5-year contract extension with the Washington Capitals, $9.5 million per season. Now, that is monumental for several reasons. One, it's Alexander Ovechkin. For another, it's a half decade of a $9.5 million cap hit that is going to take a hockey player, I don't care who the hockey player is, but it's going to take a hockey player until he is a 41-year-old man, which is a rarity in this league to be in the league at all, let alone making $9.5 million. For those of you wondering, the cap hit on Alexander Ovechkin's previous contract was $9.5 million plus $38,000. So what are the Washington Capitals going to do with the $38,000 in cap space they just gained? Who knows? It's not enough for defensive depth, but you could get a pretty decent minivan. I know the question that we're all about to ask, so let me just say this. Alexander Ovechkin had 24 goals in 45 games this past season. Now, over an 82-game season, that's a pace of 43 goals. He's still an elite goal scorer in this league. Alexander Ovechkin has scored 730 National Hockey League goals in the regular season. Wayne Gretzky has scored 894. That means Alexander Ovechkin has 5 years to score 164 goals to match that record, and obviously 165 to beat it. 164 goals divided by 5 seasons equals 32.8, but you can't score 32.8 goals. So, if over the next 5 seasons, Alexander Ovechkin scores an average of 33 goals per season, he will beat Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record. For those of you wondering whether or not Alexander Ovechkin is going to play out the entirety of his contract, I'm pretty sure he's gonna. According to CapFriendly.com, Ovechkin is going to make $5 million in the first year of the contract, $10 million in the second, then 12.5, 11, and 9. Cap Friendly also lists that Alexander Ovechkin has made over $123 million in his NHL career, so it's not like he needs it, but $9 million left on the table is still $9 million, so I think he's going to play. Speaking of whether or not somebody's going to play, Marc-Andre Fleury, and this is a quickly evolving story. Who knows, this video could be out of date before you see it, but Marc-Andre Fleury has been traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. The exact trade is Marc-Andre Fleury going from the Vegas Golden Knights to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for a player named Mikael Hakkarainen, who split last season between the AHL and the ECHL, where he played 6 games in each league. Before we get to Marc-Andre Fleury, can you imagine being Hakkarainen right now? Colby Armstrong always talks about how weird it was to walk into the Atlanta Thrashers dressing room after he was traded for Marian Hossa. This dude was just traded for the reigning Vezina winner, straight up, 1-for-1. But there are a number of catches here, and we need to pay attention to the Twitter account of Alan Walsh, Marc-Andre Fleury's agent, who you might remember as the guy who tweeted out the famous sword picture, which, he might have had a point. Here's what Alan Walsh tweeted. While Marc-Andre Fleury still hasn't heard from anybody with the Vegas Golden Knights, he has apparently been traded to Chicago. Marc-Andre will be taking time to discuss his situation with his family and seriously evaluate his hockey future at this time. So Marc-Andre Fleury, who has guided the Vegas Golden Knights from this expansion team who everyone thought was going to suck, to an immediate berth in the Stanley Cup Final and 3 Final Four berths in the first 4 years of the franchise's history. I cannot emphasize enough how wild that is. And this 36-year-old, who's going to turn 37 in November, just won the Vezina Trophy as the reigning best goalie in the entire National Hockey League. And he was just traded straight up for a 5th rounder from 2018 who played in the ECHL last year. Now, if you want to focus on the business aspect of everything, Marc-Andre Fleury has a $7 million cap hit. Vegas basically just waves goodbye to the whole thing. Who are these guys in on? What are they going to do with that cap space? Eichel? I don't know. But forget all that. This guy who agreed to join your team, people forget that was part of the whole thing. He agreed to become part of the inaugural Vegas Golden Knights. This guy who's been there for 4 years and given everything to this team You don't even tell him? He finds out over social media, it seems? The Vegas Golden Knights have to do better than that. That's awful. And the Chicago Blackhawks, who just acquired the guy, have to wear some of that blame as well. Now, that tweet from Alan Walsh made it seem like Marc-Andre Fleury is contemplating not even showing up to the Chicago Blackhawks and just retiring. He'd be leaving $6 million on the table, and he's made 75 roughly in his career. Once again, thanks Cap Friendly. What is going on here? Listen, there's no doubt that the Vegas Golden Knights know how to create a good hockey team. Like I said, they made it to at least the Final Four in 3 of their first 4 seasons in the NHL. But they've got to treat people better than this. And as the legendary Down Goes Brown found on Twitter, here's a Jesse Granger tweet from February 23rd of this year. Foley, the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, also said he told Fleury and his wife in an elevator at T-Mobile Arena that he would retire a Golden Knight. I said, this is where you're going to be. You're going to get to love Vegas, and Vegas is going to love you. I feel like I made a commitment to him at that point. If that's what the owner told you less than 6 months ago, if you're Marc-Andre Fleury, how do you not view that as a stab in the back? Just a reminder, free agency doesn't start until tomorrow, and I'll be back on this YouTube channel all day tomorrow on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. You're going to want to click refresh over and over again, or better yet, click subscribe, hit that little bell for the notifications and everything. It's about to pop off. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. It's silly season.